Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name's Preston and today we're talking about the news. We got a pretty exciting episode in front of us today. We're releasing a lot of the starter deck, Brothers deck today, and they're just flying through the cards, so I'm excited to jump into that. But first, we really need to talk about the English side real quick. The English Twitter released this, and we have an update on the official website, expanding upon what is being unbanned at the beginning of December on the release of OP05. And a lot more cards than I expected. Initially, I thought it was just going to be a reversal of the previous ban list, but it's actually a reversal of all of the red cards that are currently banned, minus Boat. We still don't get Moby Dick back, and we don't get back Cabbage, the blue card that was drawing way too much Inami. We can't have a good blue deck. But we are going fully unrestricted on the Whitebeard Pirates that have been banned. We're going Radical Beam back to 4, which I think was early in comparison to what I expected. And we should be bringing back the Edward Newgate leader, and the reasoning behind all of this is because the format has changed significantly, and these cards are going to be less dominant. So what I want everybody to do is go out and win a ton of tournaments for Whitebeard so we can see if they can mess up the market a little bit more, because these changes have thrown the market into such a turbulent thing where people are spending way too much money on cards and then losing a bunch of money, and I don't think that's fair to play with your player base that way. I'm all for ban lists. I think it's necessary, and I think that this last month of meta in locals for during this ban list have been incredibly inspiring to see what this game could do if there wasn't absolutely destructive leaders like Whitebeard just winning everything and making it so you can't play leaders because they're just not relevant. But also, I don't like to see them throwing up a ban list, having a bunch of people spend throw away money by selling all their stuff, and then it being flipped back and forth. Not really exciting to see. At least in other games, ban lists last for like 6 months to a year or something like that. So, all for ban lists. Don't like how they handled it this time. I hope in the future that they're much more transparent from the beginning so that we don't have these issues. But moving on from this fairly exciting news, it's good that we're getting these cards back. I think it'll be really important to see how we can play Whitebeard into Sakazuki and the set 5 stuff. So let's see what we can do. Let's come up with these lists. Let's come up with a law list that beats Sakazuki. Moving on from there, we got an announcement for an extra booster. It's not a full ST or a full OP01 type thing. This is EB01, extra booster, a memorial collection. It's just going to have cards that strengthen various decks that have appeared so far. I think the rumors are we're getting like Impelled Down support, we're getting Baroque Work support, stuff like that, that will let us use stuff that isn't playing well currently, which is really nice to see. We'll see if it fixes the problem that we have in purple, where a lot of purple archetypes aren't playable. We'll see if it can bring up some of those older sets that are getting left behind. Excited to see them starting to release cards on this. It looks like the release date is in January, so I'm assuming we're going to get all of these 61 cards quite quickly in the next month and a half. 2 months. So 3 leaders, 28 commons, 21 rares, 8 super rares, and a secret. Pretty desirable, easy to collect set too, with half the size of normal. Excited to see when they release the actual archetypes for this and what's going to be in it. Let's move on to our first card revealed this week. We got a yellow Makino. And for some reason, the creators of this game love Makino. Check this out. Makino yellow character, 1 cost, 0 power, Windmill Village, 2k counter. On play, you may add the top or bottom card of your life to your hand, look at your life cards, then return them in any order. That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy one cost to be able to rearrange your life to set up for all the stuff that yellow does. Being able to set your triggers in the right spot, being able to see if you have anything relevant there at any time is insane. Giving her 2k counter is insane. The creators of this game love Makino, and they love to give her relevant effects, which is interesting. I imagine this card gets played at 2k counter. I imagine it gets played well. Its effect is really interesting, and it sets up a lot for this deck, which requires you to see certain things from what I've seen so far. So let's jump into that very thing with the next card being an ace. Portuguese D ace, yellow character, 2 cost, 2k power, Goa Kingdom. Activate main. You may trash this character. Look at the top card of your life. If the card is 5 cost Portuguese D ace, you may play it. If you play it, up to one of your leaders gain 2k power until the end of your opponent's turn. So this requires you to actually being able to rearrange it so that you see it. So this works well with Makino, just for the concept of what this deck is doing. So being able to place your ace at the top of your life and then flip it up and play it and do all these things will be important for that Makino. But I can imagine just the meta impact on that Makino. And this ace, I'm assuming that we're going to get a Sabo and a Luffy that probably do the same thing, because we already are seeing leaks of those of the 5 cost cards. So I imagine we're going to get an ace, or we're going to get a Sabo and a Luffy that do something similar to this, maybe different cost to relate more to their leader. But I'm guessing we're going to get similar stuff, kind of like what we just saw with Germa. Moving on to our next card, we got Dadan. We're talking about Luffy, Sabo, and Ace's childhood. We got to talk about Dadan. Curly Dadan, yellow character, 5 cost, 4k power, bandit, counter 1k, blocker. On play, play up to one of each cost 2 Sabo, Portuguese D ace, or Monkey D Luffy from your hand. So if I'm reading this right, you can play one of each, so you get a Sabo, an ace, and a Luffy on the board for 5 costs. So you're getting a 5 cost character plus 3 2 cost characters. Each of those 2 cost characters, I'm assuming, are going to be able to trash themselves to play themselves, an older version of themselves from their life. So we're getting a similar thing to what the Germa 66 cards do. Just playing out of what their archetype is. Yellow does life stuff. It kind of makes sense. We'll have to see if this full archetype makes enough sense to play these cards in a cohesive deck, or if we're going to end up with just their like 5 costs being played, or if these leaders are even going to be relevant. So we'll have to see what comes of this archetype as we get more cards. Moving away from cards just for a second, we're going to break those up. We got a couple more left after this. We're going to talk about some more English news. On the official website, we got announcement of February treasure cups. We did get a sign-up period and just a general, these tournaments are going to happen in the month of February. But we don't have any events scheduled so far, so I'm expecting in the next 2 weeks before December 17th, when the sign-up period starts, to have a list of probably 4 tournaments in each region, so that we have one every weekend, I'm guessing. Maybe 2 per region if we can't get one from each like region of like the US. So we usually get a West Coast, a Central, and an East Coast. Sometimes we get a Central North in Illinois. We'll have to see. Those are just my speculations, but we also got our prize participation, and from what I've seen, I believe most of this is the same of that we've been getting for treasure cups. Dawn Pack Volume 1 with these guys. I think this is a new edition with sleeves. You get a 10 pack of sleeves with the 4 Emperors, the Kobe alt art prize card with the really nice filigree around the edges, storage deck box, a Monkey D Garp alt art, which I feel like is a new one. I don't remember seeing that in the last round, and a Shanks cereal card, as well as playmats for first and second. and then we have our judge stuff. So I believe this is very similar to our last one. If there's anything new, let me know. I didn't catch anything other than the packs really and the GARP, I guess. So some new things for those people that are getting into these treasure cups. Good luck getting in on December 17th at your time for the North America signups, as well as the other three regions. Really exciting to see treasure cups continuing. I'm looking forward to seeing more regional signups, especially with Nats being around that time, so we'll have to start a new season, and we'll have to see how they treat that as well. The other set of news is we're getting a special 1-year anniversary product from the Premium Bandai website. And this product here has a couple of different things that it has going on for it, but on the official website, you click on it, it's in the ukiyo-e style of like the wood printing, traditional Japanese style, which is also very Wano, if you didn't notice before. But if you click on this, it brings you to a full page of like Q&A and stuff. You click on it again, and you get to the actual purchasing place website, and you'll get to see all the things that you get in it. So first you get a playmat with the full art of all of the Straw Hats. You get a pack of sleeves. I believe it's 100 pack. I believe this is a deck box holder, or not a deck box holder, the mat holder. And then you get one of each Straw Hat. We'll just click through here real quickly. And it has the first anniversary stamp on it. And we got some really cool art from the beginning of Wano. And these are the cards that are coming in it. We get the 10 drop starter deck 10 Luffy, and then a bunch of starter deck set 1 cards. So Zoro and all of these I believe are set 1, as well as Blocker Chopper. Nami and Chopper still running for the most reprinted card in this game, I think, with several each. And then we got here, I believe some of these, I believe the Frankie's the starter deck Frankie, and then the Brook is set 1, and then Jinbei is starter deck 10 again. So we got 2 starter deck 10, mostly set 1 stuff for $90. Make that choice yourself. Is that worth it as a mat? And then all of the cards and sleeves worth $90 to you. If it is, get into the purchasing before January 9th at the beginning of next year, and let us know how the product feels in hand when you get it in your mail shortly after that, I would hope. Alright, moving on to the tail end of our show here today, we have a yellow Shanks. Shanks, yellow character, 7 cost, 7k power, 4 Emperors, red hair pirates. On play, flip up to one of your life cards face down. If your opponent has 7 or more cards in their hand, send up to 1 card from the top of their life to the trash. Another very lovely Shanks card. I know we've been getting more and more Shanks cards that fit the character and are really strong. And we suspected that there are going to be cards that flip cards face down because the leader effects interact with face-up life cards. So to save some of those cards and actually gain a benefit from them, you have to flip them face down sometimes. This card does that, as well as removing a life on condition, which is a really nice effect. At 7 cost, 7k, I think this is our weakest Shanks that we've gotten so far, but with a really nice on-play effect that's going to have quite a bit of impact with these leaders. We'll have to see how it affects the rest of the meta with yellow, but again, that's true for all of these cards that we're seeing out of this set. We don't know how they're going to really impact it until we see everything. Moving on to our next character, Emparo Ivankov, yellow character, 3 cost, 4k power, Revolutionary Army, 1k counter, blocker. On play, you may trash the top or bottom card of your life, reveal 1 cost, 5 character from your hand, then place it face down on the top of your life. So another card that's interacting with life and 5 cost characters, as we've seen with all of them. I think in the context of this deck, this card's going to be good, but it's going to be very hard to play other places. I'd have to look at all of 5 cost yellow characters to see if they're relevant. I guess you could also look at all 5 cost characters that are in a color that mixes with yellow. So these ones are red, blue, and black, also we, I believe, have a yellow X of every leader. So we'll have to see if it's worth it to be doing this in other decks. In this deck, it's probably pretty relevant. We've seen that the other cards interact with 5 cost, especially the youngins of each of our characters are going to be revealing themselves to be played from life. So we'll have to see how it goes. I'm excited I always love seeing Ivankov in sets, so I'm excited to get another one. And the last card of the day is our Three Brothers Bond. It's a searcher. Let's get through it. Three Brothers Bond, yellow event, 1 cost, go a kingdom, activate main. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck and reveal up to 1 cost 5 or less Sabo, Portuguese the Ace, or Monkey D. Luffy, then put it into your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Trigger activate this card's main ability. So this is a searcher for those 3 specific characters, which works well in context to this deck. We'll have to look at all aces, which are currently red, I believe, all Luffy's, which pretty much every color has a Luffy at this point, in Sabo, which is in red and black, otherwise this deck. So we'll have to see if we get a very nice 5 or less search for all of these characters. We have the new film Luffy that searches other film cards, so it would be really nice to have a card that searches the other character colors so that you can play a really nice mix of stuff. As for event searchers, they don't often get played. I think you play them when necessary, but often, I believe, in most cases, they get dropped for the character, because then you have a character on board that you can do stuff with. I think that's most relevant in red with Nami, which becomes an attacker after getting her search ability. But those are all the cards we have this week. Are you really excited for the ban list being lifted? Are you excited for this extra booster or the new cards in this starter deck? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, see you around. Peace.